Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is David Hotler. I'm the community manager here at CAMI, and I am so excited to talk to you a little bit about how to collaborate using Book Creator. And this is the type of collaboration where we have multiple students working on the same book. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start today in the Discover library because this is a great place to find ready-to-use resources. So I'm going to go over here to the search bar and type in all, and you can already see it popping up, but all about me. And that's going to bring up some examples of some all about me books that students have done, but also bring up some templates that we have. So we have an all about me journal that's really newcomer friendly, that you can send to students ahead of time coming into your class, or have them work on maybe at home with family or friends, or together with other students in the class. And then we've got an all about me journal. This one's a little older. It's been used almost 13,000 times, which is pretty incredible. So I'm going to start with this book today, but you can choose any of the books in our library that work for you because they're all remixable. And then I'm going to click this little starred button up here in the right-hand corner because I'm going to do a little bit more searching. And so I'm going to find the resources that work for me. I'm actually going to star the newcomer edition as well. And I recommend you click those little stars anytime you see a book in the Discover library that you really like. Okay, so now I've found my resources. I'm ready to jump into my libraries and sort of get my library ready for my collaborators to show up. So I'm going to jump into this library that I created previously. This is a test account, and this one's got some students in it, so it's going to make it easy for me to show you what's going on. So in this library, you can see here, I've already preloaded a yearbook template, which is a fantastic book to have students collaborating on. And I'm going to show you here in just a second how to get students collaborating on this. But the first thing I want to do is bring in that all about me book. So when I click on new book, I can actually shift over to favorites. And now I can see the book that I liked just a second ago and click remix to library. And it's going to bring it right into that same exact library that I was just working for. You can see it here starting to load up. Now, one thing we need to understand about collaboration is that we need to have students in the library before we can start to assign a book collaboratively to them. So to add students to our library, we click on the Add Students to Library button, and then we can either share this invite link with them or this invite code with them and have them visit app.bookcreator.com. Up to you how you get students in your library. You can use a new library for collaboration, or you can use one that you've already been using in the past, whatever works for you. The next thing that I'm going to do is just peruse this book really quick and decide perhaps which pages I want to remove, which pages I want to keep. But the idea here is that I'm going to actually have two students work on one book. And instead of going through and making copies of each individual page so that they have enough pages to work on, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to show you a little trick here. I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to copy the book, and I'm going to leave it right here in this library. And I'm going to have two. And then I'm going to select these books, and I'm going to merge them together. I'm going to click Combine. I'm going to call this a new book. We'll just call it All About Me Double. And it's going to pop into this same exact library. So now I have two copies of a single, and now I have a copy of a double. And then for my purposes in this, I'm actually going to be assigning students the double book. So I know it's a bit of a rigmarole, but I'm actually just going to get rid of those single books. And now I have this double book. And what's cool is it's got this kind of fake cover. And this is a great opportunity because the students will be able to edit this. We're going to ask them to make their own cover. But as you can see here, when I go into pages, it's going to have one copy of the book, and then it's going to immediately follow and have a second copy. And later on, we can have the students move the pages around so that they line up just the way they want. But for this demonstration, I'm going to be quick. So now that I have my ready to go book, I might even jump in here, and I might even add in some names here and just say this one's for Joe and Jose, all right? And hit done. That way I have kind of a quick visual up on that front page. Now, in the library, I'm going to make a copy of this book for every group of students that I have working on this. And that's because you cannot turn on collaboration for a book that's an assignment. This book is an assignment. So each time students join the library, they get a copy of this book. This book will not be an assignment. So I've made my 2 copies here, and I'm ready to go in and officially assign who's going to collaborate on this book. So when I click on the 3 dots, or if I'm in the book, click over here on the share button, I'm going to get the collaborate option. When I load this up, it's going to have a few options. The default option is to make everyone in the library able to collaborate and edit on this book. For this particular exercise, I want only 2 students to have access to the book. That way they're not distracted and going into other students' books. So when I click the change button, I can actually decide which 2 students have access to this book. When I click back, you can see here by enabling collaboration, I've turned it on for those 2 students. And then these are co-teachers within the library. So co-teachers are always going to have access to that book. And then when I click start collaboration, those 2 students, Kyle and Kimber, when they come into this library, and I need to change these names, right? All About Me, Kyle, Kimber, all right? Now, these 2 students can come into this book. We're going to ask them in the assignment to customize this cover. We're going to tell them that they can choose who does which page and move the pages around to tell their story of their newfound friendship. And again, all I need to do is direct students to jump into my Collaborate library. They will only be able to see this little edit icon that I see over top of the book. They're only going to see that on books they're allowed to edit. So if we have the settings set so that students are not able to read each other's books, then they won't even see those books. And so we're back in here. They're only going to see the book that they have access to edit. And both those students are going to see it. And when they click into it, they'll be able to edit it. Now, if you're interested in doing sort of an All About Me or a Pen Pal book where students are contributing to books with students from other schools, I want to recommend you either head over to where that QR code link, scan that QR code, or down on the bottom of the screen, there's a link to take you over to the Kami community page. When you sign up for the Kami community, you get access to our Global Pen Pal project. And the Global Pen Pal project is a collective of teachers who all want to collaborate with one another on a project similar to this. And they fill out a short form, and we run a matchmaking process. So we match you up with a classroom that has similar age students, a similar timeline of when you want to collaborate with them, and similar objectives. And then we link those 2 teachers up and get them started. So if you're interested in connecting with students at other schools, maybe even other countries, definitely jump over to the community, sign up as a collaborator, and as soon as we have the announcement of when you can jump into that matchmaker form, you're going to get an email. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video on how to collaborate with students using Book Creator, and hopefully inspired you to sign up for our community and collaborate with other Book Creator teachers. All right, thanks so much for watching.